Bion MTG. Construct your deck, command your board, conquer the table.
Hello out there in the wide world of web. This is Rob with Bion MTG. So today is a collection receive video, but it's a little bit different because the majority of mine, you'll probably notice I focus on like quality over quantity. And so I just fill in the miscellaneous singles that I'm missing from my vintage set collection. As I mentioned previously, I've been looking at potentially getting into old school, or commonly referred to as 93, 94. There's a myriad of different variants therein. So there's like a Swiss or Swedish, I think, or a Swiss Eternal Central. There's a Texas Four Horsemen. There's all sorts of different versions of old school. So to do that, I needed to get a lot of the commons and uncommons that I would need four of, and more so the rares that I would need four of. There is a restricted list. So in the video description of this one, I'm going to bleep down in the comments hyperlinks to a couple of the different versions of it. And it seems like a majority of the people that play this meet up annually about once a year. They do have some events going on all over the place, but majority of the gameplay is via Discord, which is kind of neat because then you just establish a secondary desk, or if you could keep your actual desktop functional, so you could just stream from your desk and you could play with people via Discord. And it seems like by and large a majority of them are very proxy friendly, so it's not like there's this huge barrier to entry. Now, me personally, I'm a collector, before player, weirdly enough, but so for me, I'm going to attempt to collect and build out my decks in that method. But for playtesting purposes, and I'll link this website down in the comments as well, but they have a really good deal on proxies, and they are not magic backed, so it's not like you're trying to show this like you're faking that you actually have the card. To me, if the front and the back of the card look like they're trying to be a magic card, then that's a counterfeit. That's not a proxy. If the front looks like a magic card, but the back is something completely different, then that's a proxy. The primary reason that the front needs to have that vintage feel is in old school, it's trying to capture the nostalgia of what Magic was in 93 and 94. And with that, they don't even use new borders of cards that exist. So like Sarah Angel, for example, it's been printed into the ground, but from an old school perspective, you want that old bordered format, so that way it captures that. This video is going to be chopped up instead of just the one solid video like I normally do, just because I'm going to have to move things around, because the collection that I purchased, like I said, it's old school bulk, and just a ton of bulk, and it's really just unlimited through the dark. And I'll pop up little pauses and then show what I got. Unlimited. So this was my unlimited, and I have a fair amount of extra that's not within the binder itself, and I had a good amount of extra rares and uncommons, but not four ofs, and that's what you need a lot of. So in this collection, this was all the extraneous unlimited, and you're going to notice it's a majority uncommons, and there are commons and uncommons, but there's some good cards in here, and some things in old school, like a Holy Armor or Holy Strength, from today's Magic perspective, is going to see absolutely no play at all. But in old school, it is a very different format, and just really cool cards. You need your Circle of Protections and things like that. There were unsummons, and we'll get to legends later, but like Boomerang and all the different kind of cards. And just thought, oh, gotta have your Prodigal Sorcerers. You need your Tims. Clones, very playable card from that perspective. Look at this. We'll pop this up real quick just because it's kind of nostalgic. I don't know. Yeah, Channel and Fireball. Look at that. Best friends forever, right? But yeah, This was the unlimited pickup, and pretty happy to get script sprites. And a secondary benefit to doing this and expanding my extra unlimited cards was, if you look at some of these, and I'm hoping it zooms in well and it's nice and clear, but these are pretty clean. They're pretty clean from especially a set that was printed in 93, but the secondary benefit of acquiring this collection was it let me go through my unlimited set and through the dark and upgrade anything that was not in this kind of condition. And it was just a pretty cool secondary benefit to the process. I'm going to pause here and jump to Arabian Nights next. So many of you are aware that Arabian Nights is a substantially smaller set. That being said, my secondary of Arabian Nights was substantially smaller. If you're curious what this little chubby pack is, it's my Card Ape collection. I think every vintage collector has a card that's there, like it spoke to them when they were a kid. I think I have 36 copies of Card Ape from Arabian Nights. It's not a ton of them. You see a lot of collectors today have like thousands of copies of stuff. But yeah, for me, it was just the Crazy Monkey. But yeah, looking through it, and same thing, just a bunch of cards from Arabian Nights. It wasn't like there were hidden Jazams or anything crazy in here, but it did let me go through and get 4 of. So if in a deck I want to run Bird Maiden, instead of just having the light and dark copy that I did in my set, now I can have a full 4 of. Same thing with Bird Raiders, Flying Men. Now I have a play set of Flying Men, and just all sorts of cool little goodies. And there weren't any crazy hits because I did get this bulk from my local game store, and I've assisted them a handful of times when older sets come in. I'll help go through them. So funny enough, even though these weren't sorted by set or by card type, I probably have touched these cards half a dozen, if not more times before they were even mine, because I helped sort them, and at the same time I would go through them, and if there were any like real high dollar cards, I would pull them out so that way they knew, hey, we could sell these online. So I knew there weren't going to be any like hidden gems or surprises in this, but the primary goal was, hey, let's get 4 ofs. Now that I have 4 ofs, I am going to have, I don't know, probably 4,000 plus extra cards, and I'll most likely just put them on eBay, make it clear that I'm not trying to scam anybody and imply that there's all sorts of these crazy goodies that could be hidden in here. I mean, I'm not saying I'm perfect and I never miss anything, but I've gone through these enough that I know there's probably not anything. There's not going to be a hidden $1,000 card in here, but put them on eBay so that way the next person that is trying to do something similar and just needs a ton of these commons, or wants to go through their set, and like I said, the secondary benefit, upgrading the quality of their commons, because a desert is a good card, and these are good quality prints in their conditioning. Some of them do have little corner dings, and I mean those were common back then because people stuck them in 3-ring binders. Like we didn't know any better because we didn't realize, hey, these might be worth something. Next, I'm going to jump to antiquities. So from an antiquities perspective, I didn't have 4 ofs of everything, so this collection definitely helped from that perspective. And similarly, the conditioning. It's funny, though, when you do go through antiquities, because it's like so many artifacts. And then when you get to the very end, then there's a little bit of actual cards of color. But really cool to go through it. And if anybody out there in the YouTube land is looking for 70 copies of Grape Shot Catapult, hit me up. I'm sure we can work a deal. If I'm a Card Ape collector, there's a possibility out in the world somebody's a Grape Shot Catapult collector and they might want 70 copies of Grape Shot Catapult. But I'm going to move on to Legends next. Okay, so moving on to Legends, the keen eye would probably say, hey, Revised came out before Legends. Why did you jump from Antiquities to Legends? And that would be primarily because the collection, although there were a couple revised cards that got confused as unlimited, which happens if you're not from that era, it's definitely easy to make that mistake. But that only happened, I think, 3 cards, and it wasn't anything of note. I think there was a single flight, a Singir vampire, which did kind of hurt your heart a little bit. The value of an unlimited Singir versus a revised Singir is a pretty big difference, but unfortunately, the one Singir, and it perked my ears up going through the unlimited, but it was revised. But that's why I skipped revised. There was only 2 or 3 from that set. Legends, on the other hand, I've had a lot more Legends, but that is it was a substantially larger set than Antiquities or Arabian Nights, but more importantly, it was printed way more. So when you're looking at collecting, a common from Arabian Nights is still pretty rare comparatively to current generation Magic. I don't know the hard numbers because Cardamundi and Wizards of the Coast no longer push the print numbers, but I would venture to say it's a fair comparison to say a common from Arabian Nights, potentially even a common from Antiquities, there are less in existence than even a mythic of today. So when you're collecting cards, they print so much. I mean, they do 2, 3 massive print runs now to meet that demand, especially if a set's super popular, like when you're looking at something like the Lord of the Rings or Final Fantasy. They'll push out so much because there's that much of a demand, and the rarity of older stuff is just substantially harder to find. That taking that into consideration, you'll notice there's way more Legends because by this time in the game they were like, oh man, people really want this. It's a lot more popular than they had initially expected it to be, and that's why Arabian Nights commons, Antiquities commons, rares and whatnot are just so much harder to find. But that's why there's double, if not more, the amount of Legends here. But similarly, it let me fill out 4 ofs, and it, more importantly, upgraded my collection itself and filled in my box more that I wanted to get 4 ofs in here. So that way, if I want to, what is this? If I want to block creatures with planeswalking, which I don't know, there's only like 1 or 2, but I have 4 of these now, so I'm ready. I'm ready for all those planeswalkers. We're gonna jump to, let's see, what's next? Is the Dark? Yeah, I think just the Dark, and the Dark was so much more. I'm not even gonna bring my box. Just it was so much of the Dark. There was a small amount of Fallen Empires in there, but it was maybe a stack of 60 Fallen Empires cards. But those are really easy to pick up when attempting to put together your 4 of. So I'm going to jump to the Dark and then one little last surprise. Okay, so moving along to the Dark. Like I said, I didn't even grab my box of my stack of like what I kept my 4 ofs because there was just so much of everything. But like Scavenger Folk is a very playable card in 93, 94. So I definitely needed 4 of. I definitely didn't have 4 of them. But now I have like, I don't know, 60 of them. But as I was alluding to earlier, I'm most likely just going to get a big 4-row white box and put all of the Unlimited, Arabian, Antiquities, Legends, and the Dark in it, and just list it on eBay, get a couple snapshots so that way people have an idea and they're not thinking, oh, I'm going to dig through here, I'm going to find a Black Lotus, because I assure you there is not a Black Lotus in there. But yeah, just goodies of all different colors. I mean, everybody remembers the combo with Warbard. You give something Island Walk and then you use Merfolk Assassin bloop, to destroy it. And look at that. You got 93, 94 combo right here just sitting on the desktop. It's pretty amazing stuff. And There's a one last card that I did pick up. That is going to go back to the unlimited set because if any of you are tracking along, you know I have 7 cards to go to complete my unlimited set. And I picked up one of those. So I'm going to bust out the binder and show you guys more or less how I've been tracking that and put the new card in there. Okay, so for the unlimited set, I do them in alphabetical order, which drives some people crazy because a lot of people like it in Uberg order and then alphabetically underneath. But I'm just a good old-fashioned alphabet kind of guy. So if they are right side up, that means they're a legit copy that I've used my little jeweler's loop and I authenticated and whatnot. But you'll notice as you're going through, some of these are upside down. If they are upside down, then that means that these are a proxy. And this is actually the same company that I ordered from. And as we're skimming along, you can get to another proxy. And this happens to be the card that I picked up. So this is the authentic Chaos Orb that I picked up. Not crazy good shape, but I mean, this is a card that you physically drop from 12 inches high, and kind of prioritize this because trying to get into old school, and it is an old school staple because that's the only place it's actually legal to play. So I'm going to take out the proxy, and this is the company that I went through, this printingproxies.com, and the back has a pseudo magic feel to it. But if you put these side by side, if they were sleeved up, yes, it's not 100%, it's a little bit darker, but it's not a bad proxy, and it doesn't detract from the gameplay feel because it's not just sharpied on there with a marker. Now, getting into the cost, they're about $1 a proxy, but I was only missing about 15 or 20 cards. And if I'm playing old school, I'm perfectly comfortable throwing this thing where I wouldn't do that with this one unsleeved. So sleeve purposes, what I do with them is I use a Dragon Shield Perfect Fit, and I go from the bottom, so that way the clip is at the bottom. Then I use a regular Dragon Shield, and I do that the opposite direction and put them in there. So that way it's double sleeved, and the inner's face down, the upper's faced up, and then it goes into the binder. And moving along, that means I have 6 cards remaining for my unlimited set, and I'm hoping to finish that up within or sometime this year, which is pretty exciting because that will complete my unlimited through Urza block. And I do collect alpha and beta, but realistically, I don't feel financially that's even in the realm of possibilities for what kind of extraneous income that I have. But yeah. Hope you enjoyed seeing the bulk collection, and I hope you're all looking forward to seeing some old school 93, 94 play. I know the group up here in Washington, I think they're called the Disco Trolls or something, which would be hearkening to Nevinyrral's disc with Sedge Troll, because you pop disc to destroy everything and then you use Sedge Troll to regenerate itself, so you still have creatures after you pop Nevinyrral's disc. But they play Eternal Central primarily, and but there are other formats and other variants that I've been talking to a couple different folks, like a gentleman down in Texas that I'm hoping he watches this video and goes ahead and clicks a like and maybe even throws a comment in there, so that way he can throw his 2 cents in on why he has elected to start trying to establish an alternate format, because everybody's got their own reasons and everybody has captures nostalgia in a different way. For me, I'm trying to utilize all the cards that existed and play the goofy jank decks that we did back in the 90s, and I'm looking forward to testing out every version or every variant of that, and I hope to catch a game with some of you in Discord. And like I said, majority of these formats are very proxy friendly, so even at $1 a copy, when this is double sleeved up, and especially on a webcam, because we know you're not getting high def 4K crystal clear like you do when you record, not from streaming, at least not from my experience. And if you have figured that out, please, in the comments down below, spell it out. How did you do it? What kind of lights are you using? What kind of webcam did you use? How are you hooking that webcam up? What type of USB cable? Because you definitely need a high speed, at least 40 gigabyte per second cable that's hooking a webcam to your desktop without using a hub in the middle. And oh, it's just a nightmare trying to get it crystal clear. I think I'll pop up a screenshot real quick of what I've been fiddling with and where I'm at right now. And if you have questions on how I achieved this look, I'll pop up a screenshot of what I currently have set up. And if you need a play-by-play breakdown of what equipment I'm using, I'd be happy to spell that out. But I don't believe I've had it solved to 100%. So if any of you are like, oh, it's good, but my setup is crystal clear, you can read every bit of text on the card, then let me know, because I would love to be able to achieve that, because I would like to start using video capture, using like OBS of the Discord gameplay. And if the audio is clear and good, I'll just leave that audio, because I want to start producing a good quality of old school gameplay, so that way we can capture that nostalgia together and discuss it in the comments and live what Magic used to be back in the 90s and not what it is today, where every deck is online and the standard format is solved in a month or even less, because of Arena. Standard's usually solved within like 2 weeks of a set coming out. And that's just not how it was. People had their decks private and they wouldn't tell everybody. So that way, because it wasn't just on Google, you couldn't just Google, hey, what does a triple S old school Eternal Central deck look like? I mean, you could do that now, but that's not what it was then. And that's why I think why a majority of that format uses photographs of the deck instead of an online deck tech. So that way there's still that little bit of work, that little bit of nostalgia. And yeah. Oh, well, I've rambled on long enough. I hope you all are doing a great day. Or I hope you all are doing great. I hope you all are having a great day. And I hope you're looking forward to some old school stuff as much as I'm looking forward to making it. I'm Rob. This is Bion MTG. Good luck and have fun.
Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment down below.